Hello, my name is Demetrius Daniel, and this is my confessional for the first ever Harvard Diversity Project meeting of 2020. Now, I feel like I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to because I felt like I wasn't really nervous now that as much, right? I always say I was a little bit nervous, but to say something stuff like that, but I feel like I was a lot less than any other time, like any other meeting in the past. I feel like I was less nervous this time than any other time. Um, I felt like kind of excited. It's like the first day of school. Um, I like school. I think it's alright, but um, I feel like my favorite part of it is more the social aspect in a sense. Like I don't talk during class, obviously, or anything like that, but seeing people, seeing friends, seeing, all kinds of people, whether it's in the hallways or during lunch or anything like that. Love talking to people, I love socializing. And so that's why my first day to school is always my favorite because I get to see everybody after a long time. Won't be having that this year though because of Corona, but still it's always my favorite part of the day or of the year. And it kind of felt like that this time. Like I felt like I was seeing people for the first time that I haven't seen ever, and it was very interesting. Cause it wasn't really a first introduction. It was not like we were meeting each other for the first time because we've seen each other like we already seen each other on Zoom, but it's obviously always different. I mean, it's different to people in real life and actually talk to them face to face or mask to mask, and it's really different than what you would think it would be. Um, some people were different than I thought they were gonna be in a sense of looks. Like Colleen was shorter than I thought she was gonna be. Dea was a lot shorter than I thought she was gonna be. Jonah was taller than I thought he was gonna be. Sarai was also taller, and Isaiah was as deep as I thought it was gonna be. So there were some people that were not as what I expected them to be, because they either look taller or look shorter on camera. How did I feel before? Before the meeting, I felt excited to see everybody. Obviously, like I just said, I like seeing people in the first day of school or whether it's any of those kind of things. I like to talk to people. So I was obviously excited to meet everybody, excited to jump into the first meeting. I was nervous what we were going to talk about because I prepared before, obviously, on the question, but obviously I thought I had an understanding of what theology was, and I did not exactly. But I really was excited. I felt a lot of different emotions. I feel like the whole atmosphere was very welcoming to me. I love how we immediately started the whole session with talking to each other and how we felt and getting to know each other and laughing. And I feel like that definitely lightened up the atmosphere and made it even more calm and even more welcoming to me. It was really cool, and it was really good to see the affirmations really nice. I was glad that I got one. I wasn't really I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting to get one, but I was kind of indifferent on the situation. I was like, okay, if I get one, I get one. I wasn't really thinking about it that much. And then I got one, I was like, oh my god, I got out of it, that's so cool. So it felt nice. I really like that. I think we should have that every meeting. That's really cool. I feel like that gave us a good way to connect with each other by complimenting somebody else, because not only do you look up, not necessarily look up to that person, but you see something good in that person, and then now they appreciate you because you just complimented them, right? I appreciate George, who affirmed me, right? So I think that's really cool. I also like how we talked about something to get to know each other more, like how I talked about how I get excited and stutter, right? And how I smile a lot, and that really got some laughs in, and it really gave me a sense about other people and gave people a sense about me, and it really connected us even more with each other. When we got into like the subjects and the teaching and stuff like that, I feel like I was trying to soak in all the knowledge that I could, and I was trying to write it down, whether it was my notes or like scanning it in my brain. And I was trying to take everything in and make sure that I got everything, because I wanted to make sure that I got all the knowledge that I could get that would make me better and make me perform better in all aspects. I obviously was looking around, trying to make sure that I can take all of the knowledge and tips that Mr. Fleming and Miss B told me and try and reciprocate it, or try and do the things that they were telling me to do. Like, don't be afraid to stand up, be brave, do all these things. And I usually am kind of nervous, especially like this is the thing about me, is that like I usually am like always trying to answer questions and stuff like that. Like, I know in my math class with Ms. Rustler, when there's people that are like around the same as me, I try and like go out and like be extra, like try and volunteer for everything, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like a class where someone's like funnier than me, or someone that like is more known about being like whatever, I tend to kind of like not say much, you know, or like say less than the other people, which is a reoccurring thing. And so obviously here, when everybody's like so smart and they're always saying all these like amazing things, it makes me be like, oh my god, I just shouldn't say anything because I don't really know what I'm talking about. They know what they're talking about. I don't, you know. And so that's how I felt going into the meetings. Not this meeting though, because I over and over again, Mr. Fleming and people have been telling us to go out there, because, and it makes complete sense, because if you don't say what you have to say and what you think, no one's gonna ever know if you're wrong. Like, if I'm wrong and I say something, you can say, hey, that's not correct, but here is what is, right? And then I can soak in that information and be like, oh my gosh, okay, now I know what I'm doing. But if I don't say anything, no one's gonna ever know that I am not on the right track. And so then when I need to use it, it won't be there. And then it's like, oh my god, why didn't you tell me a long time ago? Because I didn't say anything. So I've tried to branch out more and like step up and like say things. I was a little bit hesitant. There were like some points in time where like I was like telling my body to like stand up, and then it wouldn't. I don't know why, but I kind of got over that towards the end. I feel like towards the end I was more synced with everybody else and like was standing up more, and like got kind of getting over the fear of being wrong, because I don't like being wrong. Never like being wrong, never have. But I think it is definitely necessary, because obviously I don't know everything, so there's gonna be lots of times where I can be wrong. So I really just kind of got over that, or at least tried to towards the end. But I mean, it was a good atmosphere. I feel like it's so funny, because England, there was some point in time where somebody would say something funny, and then I would look at English, she'd be like, and then I start laughing because she said it was so funny. Like every single time, I feel like we're always smiling, and so when I look at her, it's like, every time something funny, we would just look at each other, and then we would just crack up, and like whether it was for no reason or what. And so I really like the people around. I feel like we were like, okay, so I'm horrible with names. I am horrible with names. I can barely remember. I can't remember my best friend's birthday. Like I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you if you asked me to. So I'm really bad about that. So me trying to remember everyone's name, especially when some people look alike, it's like difficult. But I know Dakota and Connor helped me out. Try and remember everybody's names, and it was a little bit difficult. And some people names were like easy, easy to know and easy to remember, or that I knew them because they talked a lot. But there were some people that I couldn't remember. But now I think I can remember everyone's names and like address them, or at least I think I can. And it was a lot easier, because like over the call, it's harder to remember people's names, because like it'll either get covered up by them like when they talk or something like that. I don't know, but in person it's a lot more easier to like connect name to face. So after class, I felt after class I felt relieved, because I not necessarily relieved, I felt happy, because I feel like it went well. I feel like the first day of class went really well, and I really enjoyed it. And it didn't feel as long as I thought it was gonna be. Because I was kind of like, oh my gosh, when I saw that, I was like, oh, 10 to 3, that's 5 hours. And I know, like, middle school me would be like, oh my god, my SAT test, like my SAT practice, like tutoring sessions were like only an hour and 30 minutes. And I thought that was forever. And now I'm doing like, I don't even know, 4 times that? I don't even know my math correct, but I'm still doing a lot more times than that now. And it didn't even feel that long. It felt a little bit longer in the beginning than the end, mainly because by the end, like the second portion, I was fed. And I was kind of hungry because I didn't eat, well, I ate breakfast, but I didn't eat like that big of a breakfast. And so I was kind of hungry towards the end. I mean, in the beginning, which made it feel a little bit longer. But after I ate, I was like, okay, let's do this. Also, there was also less time in the end than the beginning, but you know what I mean. So, I feel good about our class. Like my classmates, I really like them. They're very funny and nice. I feel like no one's really hostile in the sense of mean for no reason, which is good. There's some people that I know less in the class, or that I talked to less yesterday. I tried to get like a nice conversation with everyone, and make a good connection to everyone, but there were some people I just didn't get a chance to talk to as much. But I still like everybody in the class. I mean, I've talked to everyone, obviously, but I feel like I talked to some people less than others, like the entire time. Um, I feel like academically it was more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Well, I thought it was, I wouldn't say it was less or more challenging than I thought it was going to be. I could just say that it was quite challenging. I felt like I was retaining everything, but I feel like it's hard to understand something that I've never even it was just very, very complicated, and there were like lots of words that were being used that I didn't even know existed, and I had to look up afterwards. But there were just many, many complex topics that I didn't know before, but now I do. But there were also some things that I did know before. Like I've heard of the types of love, eros, filio, agape, and storge. I've heard of those. I heard them in English class, and so I already knew those. And some other things, like I knew more, but there were a lot more things that I didn't know. And that was very interesting to learn. I was glad that I got to learn those, because obviously I'm going to probably need to use those later in life. Some things that, how would I explain what I learned? I feel like I'll explain what I learned, yesterday, is that I would like go over it with other people in my home. Like I know that I talked with my mom yesterday about what God is, or is it, is he real? Is it real? Or all that kind of things. And we had a conversation about that. But it was very interesting. I feel like it's 100% a good idea to try to explain something to someone else to really make sure that you understand. Like that's something that I do all the time, that I've always done, which I'm a very big advocate of, is doing that. Because for me personally, it definitely broadens my understanding, or make sure that I know what I'm talking about if I can explain it to somebody else. So that's something that I really 100% agree on. It made me curious. Well, there were lots of things that made me curious about different things. I know there was a point that I couldn't get to in class because we'd already moved on, or we weren't going in the right direction. But there was a time that I think George said that we could imagine, I love that first sight, where you look at someone and you feel love for them, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'll feel love for them because I can imagine all of these things about them and blah blah blah. But I'm like, if you're imagining all these things, you have no idea if any of those imaginations are true. because those are all just what you are assuming about that person. Like, that's not a fact. That you have no idea. You can be like, oh my gosh, I bet they're such a nicest person and blah 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 blah, but you have no idea if they're nice just by looking at them, unless you see them do something that nice in the act. But he didn't say that though. He just said that he can imagine all these things, which you have no idea if they're even true or not. So those got my wheels turning. I got really excited about that. We also talked about the different forms of love, and I wanted to know if there are any more different things in love, because I really like Greek mythology. I've always liked it. Percy Jackson, all those types of books and stuff like that. And so I know Eros is the god of love in Greek mythology. So that kind of like, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I've heard of that before. And so I want to know if there are other types of love, other branches, and things like that. What I would apply in my personal life is love, the whole love portion, because I like lots of people, but I feel like there's some people that I now know I didn't love, but I thought I did. I had an elementary school girlfriend a long time ago. And I remember she asked me, because our school was in kind of like it had like a shady neighborhood behind it. And so one day she asked me like, oh yeah, if like an armed robber, I don't even remember why we were talking about this, but it was like, oh yeah, if somebody came in here and like wanted to drive by us, would you like protect me and like jump in front of the bullet for me? And I was like, yeah, I would. And in my head I was like, no, I would. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. But now I know that I didn't really love her. I didn't truly love her, because I didn't have all the aspects of what love really is. So now I know. I thought I did. I also would say that I love my best friends, but also I don't truly love my best friends, because I would not take a bullet for them, and that's very selfish, and I know that, but it's just the truth, or a form of the truth. Sorry. But I wouldn't do that. Like, but I know that's very selfish of me, but it's true. So I wouldn't jump in a building. I don't have agape for my best friends. I wouldn't do it. So that means that I don't truly love them. So that's kind of unfortunate. I gotta figure out what I can do with that. I think I made some really good connections. I feel like I saw people like, I could tell, I mean, obviously we're all like a big family, stuff like that, but I can see the people that were like kind of getting along really well. And I know who I get along with everyone, and there's not really anyone I have a problem with. And there are some people that I'm going to try to talk a little bit more with next meeting and during this entire week, just so that I can get to know them a little bit better, because I know less about them, I guess. So that's about it. I really enjoyed the meeting. I thought it was really good. It was nothing that I have ever experienced before. And it was a lot different than any other classroom experience that I think that I've ever had, or that I know that I've ever had. And it was very much enjoyable. I think I made some really good connections. I had a lot of laughs, and I learned a lot of crucial information that I now know. And I really would like to thank y'all for that, because I was thinking about how privileged we are. Like, there were like thousands of people that applied to this organization, and I was one of the 25 people that were actually able to get in. And so I thought that was just crazy to me. And now I'm thinking about that, like, this is a really good opportunity, and I'm just really, really, really thankful for it. So thank you so much for giving me this amazing opportunity. And I really enjoyed last week's meeting, and I am a little excited for the next one. I'm gonna stop now because it's almost 20 minutes, and I know that is the max. So I'm gonna stop before I ramble anymore. Thank you. Peace out. Love y'all. Bye.